Hello everyone, my name is Octavian. It's very nice to see you. Well, it's very nice to talk to you. It would be a little weird if I could see you. But anyways, it's very nice in general. It's just generally very nice right now. You know why? Because I'm doing another episode of Open Mic for EpicSkillshot. He's a great guy. He really lives up to his name. Not the skill shot part, the epic part. It would be weird if he was a skill shot. I don't even know how that would work. But anyways, my ramblings aside, super hot, Alex Ich and are attempting to clear out a ward, but instead just laughing at it because they fear nothing. In the face of danger, Kuriyami investing a lot into that early pink ward in the tri-brush there, trying to keep our legendary from getting the vision, but he does not care. He sees that Kuriyami has gone with the level 1 Soul Furnace, so he's just going to walk right up to it. And now they know that Lockjaw went with the armor break first level rather than anything else. They actually gain a lot of knowledge there. A lot of really useful knowledge. First off, because both Lockjaw and Kuriyami chose to level up their abilities early on instead of waiting, neither one of them had any CC. They just had a little bit of damage. And the damage was not enough. So there was no fear for Crumbzz and Legendary there. By the way, Alberto Rengifo, Crumbz's alt account, for those of you not aware. But there was no fear for Crumbzz or Legendary there, and they could just walk right up and take the pink ward because there was nothing to hold them there and nothing to stop them from doing it. So useful information gained as we move into the beginnings of the laning phase of this particular Ranked 5s game. Now, the reason why I'm here casting this Ranked 5s game for you, as Kuriyami chooses to go with the level 1 strat that we've seen so many Scion tops go with recently, executing themselves at a minion camp, and then taking it down with the passive, and then teleporting into the lane and having that early level 2, because taking down the minion camp with the passive does indeed give you the level 2. And that does indeed give you a XP advantage, which could be very, very nice in a lane like Rumble Scion to melee laners, either one of which can sort of be a bully. There's a flash forward from Execution. He is really forcing this engage here. The heal was popped from Intense and but they're going to keep on trading back, and they actually get nearly an even trade damage. Intense goes a little bit lower, but that is 2 summoners burned for 1. Leona's flash is down, but both Thresh and Lucian were forced to burn summoners in that engagement. But the thing is, we see Crumbzz tunneling over the wall right now into the Dragon Pit, and we might get to see a gank down here on the bottom side. There is no ward coverage. They have pushed up because of that early pressure. Execution is actually going in. This is the worst possible timing. Flash forward from Crumbzz, and he's going to be knocking Sivir up into the air. Execution flashless now because he used it earlier on the engage. Will give up the double kill to Rek'Sai. One of the best places to have it early on in this game. Rek'Sai can have a menacing early game if she gets ahead like that. And I would certainly say with first blood and another tidy kill under her belt, Crumbz's Rek'Sai is going to have very few issues in the early game in this particular match. Speaking of very few issues in the early game, RF Legendary is doing fairly well in the top lane. He has not been forced to use his health potion yet because there's been absolutely zero harass from the side of Kuriyama. And, well, he's been doing some harass of his own. Kuriyama has been forced away from a good amount of minions, and he's got a bit of a CS deficit. He's down by 5 or 6 CS, pretty much any given moment. Though right now it's 4, just to taunt me and make me incorrect. But the one lane that I haven't touched on as of yet is the mid lane. And that one, a name you might know, although it's got a lot of capital letters that are different, and a title in front of it that's perhaps a little bit comedic. It's super hot Alex Ich in the mid lane, and he's been seeing a lot of swapping around from team to team recently, and not really had a ton of success on it. Since his days with Moscow 5/Gambit, whichever name it is you want to call them by, he has not been able to return to the former glory that he once had, and that's not saying that his play has not been incredibly good. The few times that I've seen him play since then, he's always been consistent, and I expect him to be. This particular game, he's currently basically even in that lane, but it could still break in one direction or the other. We're only 5 minutes into the match here. Ooh, Nico takes a lot of harass there. Very nice piercing light across the minions from Intense. And that's the mark of a good Lucian right there, if you can laying those piercing lights fairly reliably across the minion wave. Get the trick shots down, but as I was saying, Alex Ich has seen a lot of mobility from team to team, and it looks like he's trying again. Now, we don't yet have a name for this team that he's currently on. Right now, they're going by the Expendable 6, but I'm not sure if that's the name they're going to be sticking with as they potentially move into the amateur and or pro scene. But they have the, as I said, potential to move into the pro scene, and definitely the potential to move into the amateur scene with names like RF Legendary, Crumbzz, Alex Ich, and Intense. I've seen him in solo queue a few times on my Challenger Cast series over on my channel, and he's always performed pretty well. I've generally seen him in top lane, actually. I don't think I've seen his AD carry play before, but is a solo queue name that I know quite well, and she is a very, very good support player, and particularly good at Thresh, so not surprising to see picking up that new Blood Moon Thresh skin and throwing out death sentences in this game. The other side, Red Team, I have to say, not a team that I know too much about. They look to be holding fairly well in this game. The only slip-up they've had so far is down in bottom lane, where they did go way too aggressive in the early game without getting anything back for it. Had that play worked out for them, and it was a decently timed play. I mean, Execution had the advantage in that fight. They should have won that fight, but they mispositioned a little bit during the engage, and Execution was forced to waste Flash after Zenith blading in. There's the Rumble ulti just to clear the minion wave as Nico is getting flayed back. Speaking of mispositioning, the Ignite is burning, and he's going to be going down. Picks up that kill as Execution just wanders away with his tail between his legs. And as I was saying, it's just these small mispositions, and a good support, especially a good Thresh, will be able to take huge advantage of those, flying over the wall, really wanting to go for this chase. I don't know if he can handle this, though. Lockjaw's to the side. He has no mana left. Leaping over the wall comes Intense, and Execution gets executed. He goes down. The culling is up, and Lockjaw has nowhere left to run. Flashed over the wall to safety, and really hard engaged that fight. I did not think it was going to work out for him. Alberto Rengifo Crumbzz will go down to the turret. Did not have the Dark Passage up since he had used it earlier to pull Intense over the wall. Here comes Legit Korea. There's the ulti. The Ignite is burning. I don't think is going to survive here. Legit Korea does get the kill, but does he go down for it? No, Intense, without a mana bar, is not able to make the chase stick. And actually might be in some trouble himself. If Nico were level 6, he would probably have been dead there, but thankfully Sivir had not yet hit that point. And Legendary is continuing to apply the pressure up on the top side. He's managed to extend his CS lead to more than 10, which is the point at which that you are solidly winning a lane, that it is definitely within your grasp, and it's not just a matter of where the minion wave happens to be at any given time. Because sometimes you can get a sort of artificial CS lead just because you happen to push a wave that hasn't quite reached them yet, and they're about to catch up to you. But according to the raw numbers, it looks like you have a lead. However, in terms of pressure, you really don't. RF Legendary, though, most certainly does have a lead. It's not just an illusion of the minion waves. Might be in some trouble, though. Does get knocked up. However, for some reason, Vi not looking to go in on that engage. Probably was aware that there was a ward in that bush, and that there were 2 wards on her approach. So RF Legendary most certainly saw her coming. As Alex Ich continuing to clear out the minions in the mid lane. That roam really hurt Legit Korea, actually. He got the kill, which is good, but Alex Ich has a kill of his own, and in addition to that, he's now 10 to 15 CS up, because he didn't roam during that period. He didn't head down to bot lane to become a part of that fight. The other 4 members of the team were already there. He wasn't really necessary. Ooh, Legendary might be looking to make a play. Oh, flash forward from Rengifo, flash forward from Alex Ich. Legit Korea gonna stall for time with his ulti, but Alex Ich will take him down right after it ends with the power transfer. And transfer a kill and a bunch of gold into his pockets. Oh, there's the culling. Nico had just got the spell shield back up, so managed to block a few bullets, but I don't know if it's enough. There's the heal popped, Intense flashing away in response, looking to still try and go for this kill, and handles their aggro perfectly, pulling off a 1v2. Timed it very well as well. Leona was nearly level 6. Did it just before that Solar Flare was available. Execution may be looking for the engage here. Does have Shield of Daybreak running, but doesn't have the range for Zenith Blade. and looked kind of scared off by the presence of a level 7 Yuno. Oh, there's the hook. Well thrown, but not quite on the right target. Just a little bit of damage onto execution, and they continue on with the farming game. And they've been playing it quite well. They have a CS lead in that lane as well, so Expendables 6 really starting to pull ahead in this particular match. They have a 4,000 gold lead or so. And we have yet to see any dragons go down, I think. No, it looks like dragon is down, so perhaps I missed one. Yeah, it looks like Expendables do indeed have a dragon to call their own, or a dragon buff at least. Oh, hook flies out, but it gets spell shielded. So Nico's going to be safe for a little bit longer, but the pressure continues down here, and he's still not really able to farm too effectively. Interesting item choice from Kuriyama's Scion. That's a blasting one, but we'll get back to that in a second. C9 Intense is getting hit up by a lot of CC, thrown under the tower. Nico is going to go down. Yuno picks up that kill, and they trade 1 for 2 in the bottom lane since Rek'Sai came in and they used all of their golden presents to make them pay there. Alex Ich, he manages to cleanse. Did he cleanse himself away from that? How did he get out of that so quickly? Does he have... That was really odd. I could have sworn that Alex Ich was not stunned for as long as he should have been. Perhaps it's just the abilities paying homage to a great mid laner. But he will pick up his 3rd kill of the game. Kuriyama is left alone to push up the top lane, and he's going to do so with some amazing animations. I love what they did with the new Scion animations, especially the way that he attacks turrets. He doesn't care at all. He shoulders his way into the solid stone workings of the base of the turret and brings it down with his manly undead brawn. But it looks like there's a tiny little Yordle man in a giant metal suit, and that's going to be enough to deter him from trying to take what remained of the turret's hit points. Nico getting just blasted down. The culling will follow him under the tower, and Intense is going to pick up another kill. Kuriyama might be in some trouble. Here comes Crumbzz from the side, lands the Prey Seeker, so that's a bit of a slow. Looking to get the Unburrow for the knockup, but doesn't quite connect it. Kuriyama is somewhat tanky at this point, especially against the magic damage from Legendary, but as I was saying before, he's going with a little bit of an interesting item choice. Has a blasting one, looks maybe to be going to the Abyssal Scepter? It's as I said, odd. Lockjaw taken down to half health already. Alex Ich going to drop the ult, and Yuno with the kill secure on the death sentence. 12-3 in favor of Expendables. This game is looking like it might just be in the bag. But you don't want to get overconfident. That is one of the few ways that they could fail and give up this particular match. If they were to get a little bit lazy on the map and give up advantages and such, perhaps. But it doesn't look like they're doing that now, as they do take down the first turret of the game to fall on the bottom side of the map. Ooh. Zenith Blade not connecting. I don't know if he really would have wanted it to. Alex Ich was off to the side, and that could have been the death of Execution. Or at least a flash burned. He does have it up, so he probably would have been able to get back over the wall, but certainly not worth it for the tiny bit of damage that he would have done as a support Leona. Legendary is pretty much the only lane that we haven't seen too much action in, and I guess that's kind of to be expected in a Scion lane. Everywhere else we've had kills, as actually Legendary looking to maybe go in for one, gets caught off from the side by Execution. Lots of Leona procs is applying lots of damage, and Legendary is looking to run off to the other side. As Preyseeker comes in, Crumbzz is here to save the day. Unburrow might be able to land an Execution. He's forced to flash away under the tower. And Kuriyama and Execution both escape with barely any of their health left. RF Legendary does the same, and there's the ulti! He runs right past them as they split to the sides to avoid it. Crumbzz is on a rampage. RF Legendary does go down, and actually it looks like we might be seeing Red Team turning this one around. Expendables has only 2 members left here, but it's enough to chase them off. Good lord. Alex Ich and Yuno providing enough intimidation to get them to run away, and actually, legit Korea might be going down. Flash forward for the auto attack, and the Ignite does the rest. Alex Ich. Actually, no, Yuno. Yuno's Ignite was what was burning, because Alex Ich has Cleanse, and that is where it was. Before, I was looking at his inventory for items. I might have helped him out, but no, Alex Ich just has good old-fashioned Cleanse, which is quite a good choice, as we saw earlier, against a Lissandra. Especially as a mid-range mage like Victor. We've been seeing a lot more Victor play ever since his changes. People seem to have finally realized that he is quite good now. Oh, Nico turns around. The ult is running. Going to be bringing Kuriyama in quickly. Nice flash over the Scion. Dashes away from the knockup. He is just playing this perfectly, but I don't think he can outplay 4 members. Nearly takes out Nico in the process, but goes down in what turned out to be a 4v1. Oh, Crumbzz. Crumbzz is getting aggressive. This is what I was talking about, perhaps with the overconfidence, but they do have backup in the form of Legendary Rumble. And actually, he's going to be coming around the wall, and they're going to continue on with this pressure. Lockjaw forced to run away from his own blue buff. We're not even 20 minutes into the game, and we see Expendables applying incredible pressure all over the board. EpicSkillshot looking to take down that pink ward, does find a few more enemies than he's comfortable with, and so he'll let it live for now, but I'm sure somebody will be back to deal with it later. And look, there's Yuno. He's going to take it out and head on back home to his own jungles. Crumbzz takes down his own red buff, and actually it looks like Yuno does not want to head home yet. There's the steal! Beautiful! Well done, Yuno! Well done. I don't know if he had vision on that. I don't think he did, actually, because it was being swept. At the time when Lockjaw was about to smite it, he knew that someone would be there to try and steal it, so he swept with the red trinket. He didn't have time to bring down the ward, but he swept so that it wasn't giving vision anymore, because it does disable the vision that it gives. But apparently, Yuno doesn't need vision. He's just got a 6th sense, and so he stole it away. There's the hook, lands onto the Raptor. Still going to keep following after him, though, looking to land that flay, and does pull him back. Lands the slow as well. Legit Korea going to be stalling for time with the Glacial Prison. The hook lands, and Korea is in a lot of trouble. Alex finishes off the kill as execution with no more damage to back him up. Will go down. Lockshot comes from the side. The Assault and Battery is up, but EpicSkillshot is going to survive as the hook lands from Yuno to keep him alive. Kuriyama coming from the back line gets body blocked by Crumbzz. Yuno is there to CC him away as well, and they are going to deal with this Scion perfectly. Crumbzz will just swim away through his burrow, or through his tunnel, rather. And that was beautifully managed aggression from the side of Expendables. Intense wasn't even in that fight. He was busy split pushing top lane, and the fruits of his labor are going to be in the form of a turret, the 4th one of the game for Blue, as Red has not managed to bring down a single one yet, as they lose a 5th right thereafter. And they've lost every single dragon up until this point as well. The map pressure from Expendables has been really, really on point. As was the laning. Pretty much every aspect of the game has been in favor of them. And my hopes for Envis are dwindling fast as they double sweep a bush. Oh, there's the Sivir ulti. They are looking desperately for an engage, and they might have caught one. Yuno flashes over the wall. Do they have anything to follow him? No, they do not. So he's going to be able to escape. Get away safely. Crumbzz might be looking for a counter engage actually here. Leaps over the wall, still looking to try and make something happen. His backup is pretty far away, but he has no fear whatsoever. He's very powerful of his own right. The Warrior Enchantment and the Hex Drinker. Lots of early damage for a still pre-20 minutes game. We've had all this pressure all over the map, and we have yet to break the 20-minute mark. Speaking of pressure, EpicSkillshot is going to continue on with the vision choking. Dropping pink wards deep in the enemy jungle. They won't last for a terribly long time, but they'll last long enough to get some vision control. And that's really the thing you have to realize about vision control. It's a continual game. You have to keep on trading back and forth, but so long as you win the trades consistently, then you win the vision game in general. You don't have to be in complete control at any given moment. That's really unrealistic, actually. But if you're in 80% or 90% control of the map, now that is a winning game right there. If you're in more than 50%, then you're on your way to win. That's the general theory, essentially, for ward and vision control, and it's a good one to stick to, which is why aggressive pink wards aren't always a bad idea. I mean, defensive ones are good now and then, but they're really not as valuable as an aggressive one that's placed correctly, because a defensive pink ward only gives you complete control over an area that you already had some control over, and it prevents enemy aggression. But what's better is to allow yourself to be aggressive safely, because then you can make plays. You can progress the game rather than simply not losing. You can try to actively win rather than try to just prevent failure, which is really the way that you make these sorts of games happen. The ones where you have 6 towers at just past 20 minutes, the ones where you have every single dragon, the ones where you have more than 10 kills up on your enemy. It's vision, ward, and map control. Those are the keys. And I would just like, on a very different note, to point out that Cyan has gone with an Abyssal Scepter. That is an interesting build. He does have some magic damage in his kit. A good portion of its AoE, the Soul Furnace, I believe, is magic damage. I don't know if it scales with AP. I've never seen an AP Cyan before, so I've never really had occasion to learn that. But the magic resistance will help him out. There is a double magic damage threat on the other side, but they are bringing it to bear on this Baron right now. And there's no one from red around. Yeah, that's going to be Expendables picking up the first Baron of the game at 21 minutes and 20 seconds into the match. And that is the sort of map, ward, and vision control that I was talking about. And those are the sorts of rewards that you can get. And obviously this is a bit of an extreme case, but it's important in any game, whether it's one that you are fairly well dominating, as I would have to say of this match, or whether it's one that is played on the knife's edge. Indeed, in a game that's played on the knife's edge, it's arguably the most important when it's most difficult to attain. The inhibitor turret in the mid lane getting beat on here by that long-range cannon minion, gets knocked away by Kariyami. That is one of the nice things about Sion. But it's going to be a bit too little too late, I think, for this particular turret. Kariyami gets hooked back, a third of his health, or a quarter of his health, more like, taken away. And finally, the cannon minion does die, but they are getting more minion waves and they're getting more health off that turret. It's down below half right now, and Intense making use of the shield from Yuno's Dark Lantern to land another hit on it, and they're just slowly pecking it down. 5 members of Baron buff here, and a hook every once in a while, as well as the culling. Execution might go down. Legit Korea loses a quarter of his health, just 2 or 3 bullets from the culling. Intense is doing huge amounts of damage right now, has 2 major items completed. To this single, he has an entire Yumu's Ghost Blade and a longsword up on the enemy AD carry. Alex each flashes forward for the burst. He's on a rampage. And looks like they might be heading towards bottom lane. The hook lands on a lockjaw, but there's no follow-up for Yuno. Didn't have any allies around to help him out. Does toss a lantern over the wall, pulls in Alex each. And with a huge minion wave, it looks like Expendables are going to make short work of this bottom lane turret as well. Yuno flashes forward for the hook around Kuriyami. They were not expecting that, and that makes the engage that they needed. In the end, the lockjaw did manage to escape, but Kuriyami, the front line, went down. And they're going to go after this naked inhibitor as well. Not a single turret on the board for their enemies. Expendables is looking to end the game here. There's the Solar Flare desperation team fight from Red Team, but they are not going to be able to make it work. Lockjaw goes down as he goes for the dive. Intense can just take him out in the space of a few seconds and some skill shots. Oh, there's the Rek'Sai ulti coming in, and there's the surrender going through. That will be a victory for Expendables. And the end of the cast for me. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Octavian, and I'll see you next time. Hey there, everybody. It's Octavian once again. Probably thought I was done with. You probably thought I wasn't going to be talking to you anymore. Well, you thought wrong. I am back, and I have a small request. I love making videos for EpicSkillshot, and he's a great guy. But I make lots more videos over on my channel, so if you really did enjoy this shoutcast, and I hope you did, and you enjoy what I do and you want to see me get further, then go ahead and check out my channel. Watch a few of my videos, maybe like, maybe subscribe, it's all up to you. Comment, too, if you want. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And help me out. This is my passion, this is my hobby, and this is what I want to do, so if you enjoyed how I do it, then give me some love, give me some support. Anyways, I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.